The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show, brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Dan here along with Michael and Rob. We're previewing Villa now then. Let's preview Villa. Football. We can preview a football match. Oh, imagine that. Wow, wild.
It's felt as long as the summer as this gap.
It's good because I'm not actually going to be there. I'm missing it. Although I am going to see Castillon to go see Pablo. So
lovely.
Hopefully it'll be all right.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've been absolutely dreading it for about a month now that he's about to get injured. I'm more frightened about that than I am Leeds' internationals getting crocked for the season. But fingers crossed, after he scored that great goal the other week, I'll be seeing him in his beautiful eyes again.
It was nice to see him scoring a goal, wasn't it? Even though that coverage of Spanish third tier, is it now? Isn't that great? But even from there, I know there was a puff at the cheeks before that shot. You didn't get the behind the goal shot. You only got the one angle, but I thought he's puffed his cheeks there. And it brought back such nice memories.
I was going to say, you look at Pablo and it reminds you of the promotion, doesn't it? Which now feels like, now it's just passing into memory a little bit. It feels more like you look back on it as like the best holiday you had with your mates, except we couldn't be with your mates, you had to be indoors. And not with your mates, but you know what I mean. It's got the same sort of feeling as that kind of, wasn't it good? Wasn't it good then? It's a good job somebody's put that this is at 4:30 here on the sheet, because in my mind I got it was 2 o'clock.
Unless I've got it wrong, which is quite possible.
No, I've just looked on the Sky Sports app and it does seem to suggest that it's a 4:30 kickoff. I'm just looking at the... no, it is, yeah, my calendar says it as well. The Sky Sports calendar on me.
Okay, good.
On my iCal.
I'll turn up at the right point. Actually get a sales pitch in at this point as well. Please buy a magazine. We had them printed for the Forest game.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't happen.
God, yeah.
So we've got like thousands of magazines to try and sell in a single game now, which is not what we planned.
Michael, I want to buy it. I want to get one from you. Where do I find it?
Tunnel, by the Lowfields Tunnel. There'll be someone by the club shop, someone around the East Stand, middle kind of area, possibly some more. But yeah, those are the most reliable spots to get them.
Surely it's going to be outlandishly expensive. If I give you a tenner, there's going to be no change.
No, not true, Dan. You'll get...
Bloody hell, Michael.
If Moscow was here, I'd have him do the maths, but I'll tell you instead, if you give me £10, you'd get £7.50 back, plus a magazine.
Have you got the magazine to hand?
Nope.
Who's on the cover?
Louis Sinistera.
Excellent. What we'll do is via the magic of editing, Lee, who's our video editor, can insert the magazine here.
Okay,
Look at that. You see it there?
That is nice. Yeah,
Looks nice there on the video.
It does look good, and it's absolutely bang up to date. In fairness, it's not out of date because we've not played since.
Nothing's happened since then.
We've just frozen in time. So, I suppose the Queen has died since we wrote it, but there was not likely to be much about that in there anyway. So
did you have to scrap the anti-royalist?
Got rid of all that stuff. Yeah.
This is the first of 8 league games we've got before the World Cup. That's all we've got left, plus Wolves in the Carabao as well. It's not many, is it?
No.
No.
Get rid of the World Cup. Really, really is annoying me every time I see the big gap in the fixtures. But let's look forward to this one because, it's been a while.
And this will be another interesting test, I think, of Marsh and how far we've come under him, because we obviously looked absolutely abysmal right back at the start of his tenure last season. Lost 1-0 to them in pre-season. So a win would feel like a lot of progress, I think. And they've only won twice this season, same as us. So I think this would be a nice chance to just calm everybody down again. It's like when we look back to the first season post-promotion, it never got away from us at any point, did it? There was always a win just around the corner. This feels like one of those, and it feels like we probably would have got it against Forest, but with that falling by the wayside, this is the next opportunity.
That first home game under Marsh last season, God, that was a bleak night.
It was hateful.
That was one of those, we're actually going down here, isn't it? I think that was the night I gave up on Junior Firpo completely as well. I remember being quite relieved to see him get injured and just play Stuart Dallas there, which worked out well. Yeah,
it was the one where Firpo was running across to cover Cash, wasn't it, at the back post where the ball had reached him, and ran like a comedy distance past him, where he overshot him by he ended up sort of in the set in with the Villa fans, and by the time Cash was putting it into the
when you see
corner.
People reversing up the hard shoulder to go off the motorway exit, they've just missed.
Bless him. Yeah, it was weird, this game. I watched the highlights of it back because I remembered it being awful, but when you can't quite remember what went wrong. And basically we were trying to be more narrow, which we are now still, but it somehow just resulted in them having the ball in wide areas with infinite amounts of time to pull it back and for them to score goals or have chances, because Meslier made loads of good saves in this game as well, so 3-0 kind of flattered us when you watched it back.
Well, it was like they signed Coutinho last January and it seemed like he played really well against us twice, and then since then he's not really done anything. And the whole thing about Gerrard is, he doesn't know what to do with him or how to fit him in his team. He's just been left out of the Brazil squad. Apparently he was slightly improved against Southampton, but the Villa-Southampton game, which they won, a pretty scrappy goal. It was John McGinn who said if I was watching that, I'd have turned it off. So I think Jeff Stelling as well said that it might be one of the worst ever Premier League games. So it's not like they're in amazing form, and they've got quite a few. They've got a couple of injuries now, haven't they? As well?
Yeah, they've got a few on the list here, haven't
Got
we?
loads. It's good.
So
I wish them all the best and a speedy recovery.
Diego Carlos, who's the centre back, so they 26 million quid.
He was rough in pre-season. Was that lad?
That's who Bamford kicked brilliantly, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he's ruptured his Achilles. That was in the second game. Boubacar Kamara, who I kind of wanted us to go in for when we were looking for midfielders. He's coming on a Bosman from Marseille, injured his knee ligaments in that Southampton game, so he's not going to be back now until after the World Cup. Good for us. Digna has
Digna, are you going Dean or Digna?
Digna. That's what it says in front of me here.
Luca Digna.
Luca Digna, yeah, like
Fair enough.
Fred Digna.
Yes.
He fractured his ankle, and Matty Cash has been out with a hamstring injury as well. So they've got a bit to contend with, haven't they? I know they've got a relatively big-ish squad, but it's not limitless, is it?
It's a very Leedsy thing, though, to get your two big summer signings both crocked early on. I feel like that's something we've done in the past.
There's still time. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that's true.
According to the old internet charlatans who scored.com, their main formation is the Christmas tree, which takes me back to Terry Venables, who managed Leeds. What was it, 2002, 3-ish, whenever?
Yeah, with great success.
Did he play Christmas tree for us, or was it just England he was doing the Christmas tree with?
I don't remember it for us, I have to say. But then I don't remember much of that time, apart from Nicky Barmby.
And that is the extent.
And Paul Ocon.
The extent of the old tactical analysis. But I do feel like we'll fare better. I always felt like we struggled, like in that away game against them. Was that the 3-3 when Bielsa was still in charge? When Radrizzani claimed that he'd fallen out of love with Bielsa.
He claimed he wanted to leave the ground at half time in his interview with Phil Hay.
That's when Coutinho was just operating in acres of space, wasn't it? Hopefully with two deep line midfielders, we won't have that problem this time. But
yeah, it was a very weird game, was that? And obviously a little scum bastard with the goals.
The header as well, yeah.
Saved us that day, wasn't it? So not got him. It was scum bastard and Llorente who were the saviours. So we'll see what happens there. Llorente actually is an interesting one because Cooper is presumably fully fit now, having had another month to recover, and he was very close last time. He's played under 23s since, hasn't he? So
I did. I've noticed that Spain are playing Portugal tonight, so it could be Llorente v Ronaldo, which might be his final chance to redeem himself, I guess.
Yeah, if he can injure Ronaldo in that game, I'd give him a start.
Or Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
There's a few there.
Very true. Yeah, if you can take both out with one bullet, so to speak,
it would certainly calm the anxieties, because I've got a very low, because we haven't played for so long. I've got a very low level of anxiety, just bubbling under at the minute.
Yeah,
because it feels like it's been ages since we won a game. I think maybe that's what's fueling it. I'd probably feel a little calmer if it was Cooper in there orchestrating things from the back rather than Llorente. No offence, Diego.
Yeah, I would as well. I mean, because it was so long ago, the scars of that Brentford game have faded a bit, but fucking hell, what happened? Like, when you actually think about the goals in that game, it's like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, I would probably put him back in.
Are we going to have Aylin in at right back, or Rasmus has been back fit for Denmark? Who do we want to see? I'd like Aylin there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Possibly, yeah. I suspect he might give Rasmus another go. Aylin on the bench, maybe, as an option, but I don't know. I suppose we'll see how it's gone in training. But Aylin looked really good, didn't he? Obviously, in his very brief cameo appearance against Brentford.
I was going to say that if you actually extend this out to the whole defence, you're then talking about making 3 changes in that defence if you put Firpo back in as well.
I'm talking about 2 changes, not 3.
But it isn't. That's like a lot of change for one game. Would you take Strauch out, or would you put him in?
I'd leave Strauch in. I'd love to see him have a run at centre back, but having said that, I think Cooper fits into that team nicely. I think Strauch's been doing a good job at left back. I'd like to see Aylin play right back, because I think a bit of attacking thrust there that he gives us would be good, especially considering the system is all built upon the full-backs providing the width, and I think Rasmus just hasn't quite had that spark yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. I think I would equally leave the big sexy pirate in at left back for now. Let Firpo Let Firpo find his way back in slowly.
What about Willie Nonto then on the bench? Definitely.
Yeah, he'll be bench, won't he? But Bamford might start.
Would you start him? I would, probably, I think.
If he's fit. I just never trust that he's fit. I feel like we've been told he's fit so many times over the past sort of 18 months. And he never seems to be, does he? But if he's fit, I would play him.
There is that sort of air of seeing the phone call from the garage when you put your car in. You say, oh, what is it now? Go on then.
Yeah, you almost don't want Bamford news, do you? You just want him not being spoken about for a while, other than at games, obviously. But yeah, just that thing that comes from a press conference where someone asks a question like, no, he's picked up a bit of a knock in training. You're like, for fuck's sake, another one.
Yeah. It's just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's Christmas.
I forgot we'll have the Jess conference, won't we? And he always start with the injury update before anyone can ask him. So I'm expecting him to just sit down and go, yeah, Pat's broken again.
Yeah.
Sinister is injured. Lorenzo's had a breakdown probably, but
Do we basically, are we almost back to full strength here then with all these lot back?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's Dallas is obviously a long way off. But
Yeah.
I think he's.
But even Slay's back in training, isn't he? And they were looking at New Year. If that's only 8 more games, he'll be back soon. I want to see Stuart Dallas. It feels like a comfort blanket.
Yeah, and I think it felt sad at the end of last year when he went down injured and we thought we were getting relegated, and it all felt a bit like, well, that's the end of Stuart Dallas. I don't know. I think it was just the general mood of around Leeds United at the time felt so depressive that I feel like he went down, he broke his leg, and everyone went, well, that's the end of that. The fun times are over. Stuart Dallas is over. Never mind. But then we've stayed up and Dallas can run again, and maybe everything's going to be all right.
Do we need to win this? I'm just looking at the fixtures we've got, like next 4 or 5.
I think we probably do.
Right.
We could,
because we've got Palace after this away, which will be difficult. Again, pre-season reminders again. And then it's Arsenal at home, who appear to be good now. Leicester away. Will they have changed their manager by then? New manager bounce? Well, I don't know. There's an opportunity there, and then Fulham at home. So but it feels like for the next 3 games, there's nothing in there that you think, yeah, we're probably going to win that. In the way that you looked at Forest and thought, all things being equal, we should.
I mean, I was looking at Forest, Villa and Fulham as games that we should probably aim to win. A draw against Villa wouldn't be a disaster, would it? But it felt like prior to our games being cancelled and the Villa playing Southampton, it felt like Gerrard was under loads of pressure and they'd had a really bad start to the season and we'd had a good start, and now all of a sudden they're a point behind us. And it's like, that feels like it's really twisted.
And then we've got Liverpool away, and I'm just looking further down to Bournemouth at home, which you'd expect us to win.
Liverpool are shot now. We'll beat them, no bother.
But I mean, looking ahead to the games before the World Cup break, you obviously you write off the bigger ones, don't you, in your mind, thinking, well, if we get a point, good, but we'll probably lose. Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal at home. But then you look at, Leicester away, Fulham at home, Bournemouth at home. There's stuff in there for us to get in there. Just keep it ticking over.
I think the Gerrard point's good. That's why we should beat Villa, just to keep them engulfed in kind of sadness and hating each other, because it's nice just not being that club. I think there's a lot to be said for that. Not being panicking and your manager's under pressure all the time. Let's keep them engulfed in sadness so we don't have to be that club. Then you've got teams like Leicester and Bournemouth who've already sacked the manager, that leave them to just be a mess. Yeah,
I was going to say, I don't even know what the table looks like. I've had to now pull it up just to double check and confirm with myself, but it appears we are mid-table at the minute.
Which is fine. But it's still at that stage of the season where there's not an awful lot of a gap between mid-table and 18th. Unless you're going to tell me there is, but I don't think there is.
No, well, it's 4 points. Yeah. So it is still a 2-game swing, and we have got a game in hand as well.
Yeah.
Not to forget that one, which will be against Forest at some point. So
yeah, and Scum. At some point we have that one to come as well, don't we?
Oh, yeah,
that one was obviously cancelled. So
we'll win that easy.
We've got a famously good record at Old Trafford.
So what does this feel like to you then? Where does this one go?
Win.
It's in that bracket of Premier League games where you look at it and you think we could win this, but equally we could lose it. And you'd also probably take a draw.
Good predicting that, Dan.
I know.
Really solid.
But so much of the Premier League is like that, innit? That's the problem.
I'll go for
in the same way that we've got Palace afterwards, and we'll end up saying the same thing again.
It'll be a scrappy, spiteful 1-0 win to Leeds. They've got McGinn in midfield to be the pantomime villain after he crocked Archie Gray in the summer. And also Diego Carlos's injury means Tyrone Mings is back in the team, and he's famously popular at Ellen Road, so I'm sure he'll get a great reception.
Although he did help to keep us up last season, so let's not forget we've changed our...
Let's give him a hero's welcome.
Our opinion on him.
Yeah, I think we need to try and take advantage of the fact that they've got some fairly bad injury problems at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Ashley Young's probably going to be playing at fullback for him, so
I can't believe he's still playing in the
that
Premier
can't
League.
be allowed,
No.
can it?
How old is he now?
Too old.
Ashley
I
Old.
mean, he played in that Watford team that beat us in the playoffs, didn't he? No one from that game should still be playing, and I'm looking at Ben Foster too and saying he should retire.
Yeah, that's funny. That was if you listen to the Phil Hay show, that was his first Phil's first game covering Leeds was the playoff final defeat in Cardiff, and look what's happened to Phil since.
I was going to say, and he's been a curse on this club ever since.
But yeah, Ashley Young, 37 this year he turned.
I think I knew he was back at a former club, but I just assumed it must be Watford because they're crap.
Changed manager, haven't they, Watford, surprisingly?
That was the guy who's from Forest Green, wasn't it? Who was there?
Yeah, they had
Should never have left.
They had a change of policy, didn't they? Over summer, like, no, we're going to get someone who's going to build it. Nope, sacked, gone. Always going to happen.
Where are they in the league?
I don't know, middle of it. They're not disastrous by any stretch.
I don't know, middle of it.
They're not doing terribly like Middlesbrough or anything.
Right, let me have a look.
They're just kind of like ninth, I think, and on the fringe of the playoffs.
They've got Bilic in though, haven't they?
Yeah.
Who I've always had a bit of a soft spot for.
Yeah, he's quite funny, is Billy.
Yeah.
He just seems like a bit of a...
One of those, I'd just like to have a pint with him.
Yeah, seems like a bit of a lunatic.
What for the 10th, 1 point outside the playoffs?
There you go. I wasn't far off, was I?
No.
Not terrible, just not in automatic spots.
They've played 10, won 3, drawn 5, but only lost 2, 11 and 11 goals for and against. So they're just sort of middling.
Those former Forest Green managers just can't get a break, can they?
So Coventry are bottom. Huddersfield, I didn't realise we were that low down.
Yeah, the
Middlesbrough.
shit.
Yeah, and Sheffield United and Norwich doing their usual, trying the Championship but not bothering the Premier League act again.
Don't let them come up. It's a waste of time.
So I didn't realise Sunderland were riding that high. Jack Clark.
Let Sunderland never go.
Charge.
Norwich can fuck off. Stop coming up. Stop coming up just to go straight back down with a whimper.
I'm just listing teams now. So should we wrap it up there then? Unless we have anything to add on the Villa game. They're aggressive apparently according to WhoScored.com, so that should be fun.
Well, we saw that in the summer, didn't we?
John McGinn kicking children, yeah. What are you feeling for it then? Let's return to that question.
Click 1-0.
So you're saying scrappy, horrible 1-0. You're saying similar.
Click off the bench.
Oh, that'd be nice.
1-0. Giving it the big one.
Straight into McGinn's face.
I'll go 4-0 Leeds. Click off the bench. Makes it 1-0. We run away with it. There's a red card for Villa in there as well.
McGinn is due one after he got away with punching Click in the stomach once, didn't he?
Right, there we
When
go.
Click had done nothing wrong.
3 home wins, great. Absolutely riddled with optimism. We will see if we're right and we will reflect on this on the match ball then, gentlemen. Post-match, you're not going to be on that obviously because you're not going to the game.
No, and I'm not dialing in from Spain. I'm just warning you now.
Yeah, well, enjoy your trip to go see Pablo and we will...
We'll get a report on Pablo, won't we?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll let you know how he's looking.
Excellent. Enjoy that and hopefully everyone gets to enjoy the Villa game. And we're sat here on the match ball on Sunday evening, toasting 3 points and Leeds United's glorious charge up the Premier League. We'll speak to you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.